Remember when MMORPGs were everywhere? Games like World of Warcraft, RuneScape, and Final Fantasy XIV had us hooked for hours. But what's going on with them now? Feels like they've kind of faded, right? Or maybe they're just evolving into something new. Well, today we're going to dive deep and figure out where MMORPGs stand in 2024 and where they might be heading next. So, MMORPGs, basically, they're these massive online role-playing games where you pick a character, jump into huge worlds, and team up or troll other players. What makes them really special is the community vibe. The world keeps going, even when you log off. You can grind for loot, explore massive areas, or just hang out with friends online. Back in the day, these games were everywhere. They raked in billions every year. Yeah, real money. But things feel kind of different now, right? It seems like the hype's died down a bit. So what happened? Did people just get bored? Or are they looking for something else? That's exactly what we're talking about today. What's really happening with MMORPGs in 2024? Is the genre in decline or just in a rough patch? And most importantly, how can it make a comeback? Let's jump into it. In today's video, we'll cover everything from the golden age of MMORPGs to the future of MMORPGs in 2024. We'll talk about what made these games so great, why they're struggling now, and what changes need to happen to bring the magic back. 1. The golden age of MMORPGs. Back in the day, games like World of Warcraft, RuneScape, and Final Fantasy XIV were everywhere. World of Warcraft blew up in 2004 with fast internet becoming the go-to game. RuneScape was easy to access in your browser, and though Final Fantasy XIV flopped at first, its revival with a Realm Reborn proved games can make a comeback. These games had awesome world building. World of Warcraft hooked fans with its lore, and Final Fantasy XIV kept people engaged with chocobos and epic stories. The gameplay was easy to learn, but always offered challenges for the hardcore players. What really made MMORPG special was how alive the worlds felt. Each area had its own vibe, like Duskwood's creepy forests, and the social side was huge. These games were hangout spots where players joined guilds, tackled dungeons, and made friends. Guilds kept things exciting with raids, trades, and friendships that lasted. World of Warcraft kept players grinding with legendary raids, while Final Fantasy XIV added seasonal events and fun side activities like housing and fashion contests. Community events were also a big deal. World of Warcraft had epic server-wide moments like the opening of Encourage, while Final Fantasy XIV rocked seasonal events like the Moonfire Fair. There were even in-game economies. RuneScape had the Grand Exchange, and World of Warcraft players used the auction house to become in-game entrepreneurs. Some even hosted weddings or wild roleplay events, creating real memories. Games like World of Warcraft, RuneScape, and Final Fantasy XIV weren't just games, they were experiences. And even though things have changed, those community vibes and immersive worlds still resonate today. 2. Why MMORPGs lost steam. Here's why MMORPGs aren't hitting like they used to. Back when World of Warcraft was in favor, players had the time and patience to grind for hours. But nowadays, games like Fortnite and Apex Legends dominate because they offer quick matches and instant rewards. People want that adrenaline rush in 20 minutes, not endless farming for gear. The grind just isn't as appealing anymore, and burnout has definitely set in. When updates roll out and don't change much, it leaves players feeling stuck in a loop, doing the same thing over and over. If a game starts feeling stale or outdated, players won't hesitate to jump ship for something fresh. The community vibe isn't what it used to be either. MMORPGs once felt like a tight-knit family, but now toxicity and elitism are driving away new players who just want to enjoy the game. When experienced players treat newbies poorly, it creates a negative atmosphere that's hard to ignore. And let's not forget about monetization issues. Pay-to-win mechanics have become a hot topic, frustrating players who work hard for their rewards. On top of that, some players feel overwhelmed by subscription fees or the paywalls in free-to-play games, making them feel like they're getting ripped off. Developers are still figuring out how to strike the right balance. With more competition than ever, think survival games and open-world RPGs, MMORPGs are really feeling the heat. Games like Genshin Impact have successfully taken MMO elements and packaged them in a more casual, accessible way. With all these changes and challenges, it's clear why MMORPGs are struggling to stay relevant in the gaming scene today. 3. Community issues in MMORPGs. Community issues in MMORPGs have become a major pain point. First off, let's talk about microtransactions. Players are really getting fed up with pay-to-win mechanics that let wealthy gamers buy their way to success. It's a real buzzkill when you see someone flaunting their fancy new gear, knowing they just dropped a ton of cash on it. This creates a divide between those who can spend and those who can't, making the game feel super unfair. Then there's the toxicity that creeps into these communities. You've probably seen it, experienced players looking down on newbies, calling them noobs, and making them feel unwelcome. This kind of behavior is a real bummer for new players just trying to learn and enjoy the game. Instead of a welcoming space, it can feel more like a battleground where you're constantly trying to prove yourself. Guilds and clans can be great for bonding, but they can also create cliques. If you're not part of the in-crowd, getting involved in raids or events can be tough. It often feels like you need connections just to join in on the fun, leaving some players feeling left out. On top of that, elitism can ruin the experience, as some players only want to team up with the best. This pressure can make casual gamers feel like they have to keep up or just quit, which takes away from the joy of playing. Finally, the shift from subscription models to free-to-play has created friction. While free-to-play games aim to pull in more players, they often bombard you with ads or pressure you to make purchases, which can really ruin the experience. So yeah, community issues in MMORPGs are definitely a mixed bag. They can seriously make or break the gaming experience. And if developers want to keep players engaged, they've got to tackle these problems head-on. 4. The rise of new competitors. Recently, MMORPGs have been feeling the pressure from some fresh competition in the gaming scene. Survival games, open-world RPGs, and even gacha games are stealing the spotlight and drawing players away. Titles like Ark, Survival Evolved, and Rust are rocking the survival genre. They drop you into huge worlds where you gather resources, build shelters, and fend off wild creatures and other players. The whole survival and crafting vibe offers a new thrill, especially for those wanting a bit more action and unpredictability than the usual MMO grind. Then you've got open-world RPGs like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Elden Ring. These games focus on exploration and rich storytelling, letting you dive into beautiful, expansive worlds. Unlike many MMORPGs, they don't depend on constant online interactions or grinding for loot. You can just jump in, enjoy a captivating story, and explore at your own pace. Perfect for gamers looking for a solo adventure. And let's not forget gacha games like Genshin Impact. This game has flipped the RPG script by mixing gacha mechanics with open-world exploration. It's got amazing visuals, fun characters, and engaging combat that hooks players fast. Plus, you don't have to commit to long sessions. You can pop in, do a few quests, and enjoy the stunning scenery without feeling overwhelmed. Genshin's success shows that players are craving fresh gameplay styles that still feel like RPGs without the usual grind. Live service games like Destiny 2 and Fortnite are also making waves. They constantly update with new content, keeping things fresh and exciting. Players love knowing they can expect new events and rewards, which can be way more appealing than the slow updates some MMORPGs dish out. Lastly, player expectations are shifting. Gamers today want quick, action-packed experiences that fit into their busy lives. With battle royales taking over, more players are leaning toward games that offer shorter play sessions and instant fun. Who wants to spend hours grinding for gear when you can jump into a match and have a blast in under 30 minutes? Overall, the rise of these new competitors has definitely shaken up the MMORPG landscape. With so many exciting options available, it's clear players are searching for something different. Something that combines action, story, and flexibility. For traditional MMORPGs to stay relevant, they'll need to innovate and adapt to this evolving gaming world. 5. What's still keeping MMORPGs alive today? Even with all the new competition popping up, MMORPGs are still going strong, thanks to a few key factors that keep players coming back. First up, loyal communities play a huge role. Many gamers form tight-knit groups or guilds that turn playing into a social experience. It's not just about grinding together. It's about building friendships, sharing stories, and making memories. Whether it's teaming up for raids or just hanging out in-game, these connections keep players engaged long after they've wrapped up the main story. Niche MMORPGs are carving out their own space too. Titles like Black Desert Online and Guild Wars 2 offer unique gameplay styles that stand out from the mainstream, whether it's action-packed combat or deep crafting systems. These games might not have huge player bases, but they foster passionate communities that love their distinctive features. Accessibility is another big factor. Many modern MMORPGs have become more player-friendly, streamlining tutorials and lowering barriers to entry. Plus, a lot have switched to free-to-play models, making it easier for newcomers to jump in. Cross-platform play is becoming more common, so friends can team up no matter what device they use, boosting engagement. Finally, nostalgia plays a huge role in keeping MMORPGs alive. Players who grew up with titles like World of Warcraft often return for those fond memories. Developers tap into this nostalgia with content that pays homage to the past, hitting that emotional sweet spot to keep players engaged. In a nutshell, MMORPGs are thriving thanks to their strong communities, regular updates, unique niche offerings, improved accessibility, and a good dose of nostalgia. As long as these games keep evolving and adapting, they'll likely hold onto their loyal fans and attract new players eager to dive in. 6. The future of MMORPGs in 2024 and beyond. The future of MMORPGs in 2024 and beyond is looking really cool, with some exciting trends and new tech that could shake things up. One big change is the use of virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR. Imagine jumping into a game where you can swing a sword or cast spells using your own movements. Games like No Man's Sky and Skyrim are already trying out VR, and if MMORPGs follow suit, it could completely change how we play. Another interesting tech is artificial intelligence, AI. Smarter NPCs could make the game world feel more alive. Imagine NPCs that remember your choices and react differently depending on how you play. This would make every player's experience unique. Cloud gaming is becoming popular too. This means players can access great games without needing super powerful computers. With services like Google Stadia and Nvidia GeForce Now, more people can play MMORPGs, and it's easier for friends to play together, no matter what device they have. Player feedback is also really important. Developers are starting to listen more to what players want, which helps them create games that people love. If they can deliver content that players actually want, it keeps everyone excited about the game. When it comes to how games make money, there's a push for fair models that don't feel annoying. Players are tired of pay-to-win mechanics and too many ads. Developers need to figure out better ways to earn money without upsetting their players. And that's a wrap on our journey through the evolution of MMORPGs. From their golden age to the challenges they face today and the exciting future ahead, it's clear that these games have a special place in the hearts of players. Whether you're a hardcore raider, a casual explorer, or someone who just enjoys the social aspect, MMORPGs have something for everyone. As we look forward to new technologies and innovations, we can't wait to see how these worlds continue to grow and evolve. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think the future holds for MMORPGs? Until next time, happy gaming!